I saw this post on X the other day and it got me thinking, who's the better signing? Well, after doing a little deep dive into both these players, I think I've got the answer, so stick around to the end and find out. Let's start with the obvious. Leny Yoro is only 18 years old, whereas Calafiori, big age of 22, so he's basically ancient. 22 years old in football is very, very young, and with 2 full seasons under his belt, 5 caps for the Azzurri, Calafiori might just be the player that Arsenal need. A team that's challenging for the title, they need someone who's going to slot in straight away and who won't look out of place playing at the top level. Leny Yoro isn't lacking experience either, only having 10 less senior caps than Calafiori. He's helped take an exciting Lille team to a 4th place finish in Ligue 1, whilst also being nominated for Ligue 1 Young Player of the Season. Does that sound familiar? Let's have a look at the stats. Before we dive in though, it's important to preface that Arsenal and United play very different styles of football. United, as stated by Ten Hag, want to become the best transitional team in the world of football, turning defence into attack in a moment's notice. Arsenal, on the other hand, look to slowly strangle the life out of teams, building up from the back, having a fantastic defence, and then absolutely dominating them in the final third. Both defenders are amazing with the ball at their feet, bringing the ability to progress the ball from deep to both their respective teams. Let's start with Yoro and see what he can bring to this United team. Yoro shows such maturity and a great ability to progress the ball at such a young age, a feature of play that Ten Hag has been severely lacking in his squad so far at United. Taking a look at a map of his progressive passes for Lille last season, you can see a real propensity for forward play, particularly looking to play into the middle of the pitch, an area which we expect Bruno Fernandes to be occupying. Yoro also shows a willingness to play long switches, a vital component in a team being able to play fast, attacking, transitional football. But let me stop you before we get a little bit too carried away. Whilst Yoro has shown a willingness to be progressive, only 44.2% of his carries were actually classed as progressive last season, which is below the league average for centre-backs in this metric. It's his maturity as a centre-back at such a young age which has really caught the eye of all the top teams around Europe, with his pace and physicality allowing him to win many of his ground duels. Yoro's 62.7% success in ground duels was the 11th best in the metric last season, while his 69.4% tackle success rate was only bettered by 6 defenders. Yoro has most likely been brought into United as a replacement for the departed Raphael Varane. However, we've got to be careful when we look into these stats, because Varane was far busier at United than Yoro was at Lille last season. Right, let's head on down to North London and see what Calafiori can bring to this Arsenal team. Calafiori really caught the eye of the footballing world during Euro 2024 this year. He impressed in Italy's 2-1 win over Albania, completing 99 out of his 106 passes. Successful with both his dribble attempts, winning 6 of 9 duels, including all 3 of his aerial duels, and winning possession back 5 times. But to those with an eye on Serie A, they'll know just how good he's been for Bologna this season. Of defenders in Serie A 23-24 with a minimum of 10 appearances, he was ranked 5th for interceptions per 90, 2nd for recoveries per 90, 9th for passes per 90, 14th for dual successes per 90, and joint 4th for overall assists. Arsenal boasted some incredible defensive statistics last season. Their 29 goals conceded was the fewest in the Premier League by 5, and their expected goals against of 28.4 was the lowest of any team in Europe's top 5 leagues. Should Calafiori complete his move to Arsenal, it's likely that he'll play as left back in a back 4. Something we've seen grow increasingly popular in the world of football is this trend to have 4 centre backs, with a right-footed centre back at right back and a left-footed one at left back. This is a trend that Arteta has happily hopped on board with, turning Ben White from a centre back to an elite right back, bringing more physicality and aerial dominance to his back line. Whilst the switch to left back for Calafiori shouldn't be an issue, only 6% of his total minutes for Bologna last season was spent at left back. He's often been compared to Man City's General John Stones, showing a propensity to come inside and join a midfield pivot, as well as a propensity to play further up the pitch and joining in play. Calafiori has stated his style of play is closest to mine. Stones is my reference. It's not off the cuff when I go into midfield. It's following the guidelines of the coach. He saw me in this role. I've learned so much from him. The coach is revolutionary, smart, demanding, and clear in what he wants. Right, the bit you've all been waiting for. Who is the better signing? Well, I'm going to disappoint you. Realistically, both signings play completely different roles to both their teams. United have brought Leny Yoro in more as a player for the future. A little bit sort of raw in what he brings, but he can definitely do a job in the first team, and he's definitely been brought in as a replacement for the departed Raphael Varane. Whereas Calafiori coming into Arsenal is to sort of replicate what Ben White has done, but on the other side, offering the physicality and defensive assurance of a natural centre-back, whilst also bringing a little bit of John Stonesiness to the Arsenal setup. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to be the better player for which team. Will it be Yoro at United or will it be Calafiori? If you have enjoyed this video, make sure you do hit like, comment and subscribe. We're going to be pumping out all sorts of content as the season progresses. The season's nearly upon us now, so make sure you're around for it. It's been Board Draw and it's live.